Hello everyone, welcome to the Undercut. Today we're going to be doing our predictions for the Singapore Grand Prix. I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah.
I just am. Like, double header, double street header. What is going to happen around Singapore? Who knows? We've got multiple teams in the running for the win, pole position. We're at this point in F1 where we just don't know. It's great. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm loving it. And earlier on in this week, we had a look and there was a threat of rain. I don't know if that has changed. We need to have a look at that.
No, there is still a threat of rain.
Still a threat of rain?
Yeah,
we
still
like a threat of rain.
Every single session, there's a threat of rain. I think maybe bar one of the practice sessions. But on Saturday and Sunday, especially Sunday, there is a threat of rain, which is very interesting. Not much is obviously changed from year to year. We know that, if anything, Singapore last year was the best representative of this season in terms of how close the field was, the Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren battle. So that was interesting, and I think we're going to get more of that in this weekend. But another thing that's very interesting about this weekend as well is there are now 4 DRS zones around Singapore.
Well, yeah, there is now.
It's
the new straight, isn't it?
Yeah, the one that cuts out the bridge section.
Yeah. I do miss that section a little bit, though, because it added something, but that DRS zone into that final corner, well, the final chicane, could get tasty now.
It could, and I think the reason they've added it is because the third DRS zone was out of the hairpin, out of the twisty section, out the hairpin, and down towards that right-hander.
Yeah.
You usually see, unless someone's got a big tyre advantage, usually you see not a lot of passes there. I imagine that DRS zone will be used to get closer to the car in front, and then hopefully the next DRS zone will provide a lot more racing, which could be quite interesting. Likewise, obviously, if you do manage to get past into that right-hander, the other car can come back through on the next straight. So it's interesting.
And then straight away after that is the main straight.
With DRS. And then a few turns after that.
And then after that, it's the first sector.
Yeah, so hopefully this provides some really good racing. I mean, I like Singapore as it is. And like you said, I miss that section, the twisty bridge section that we had. It was a cool part of the track. But nonetheless, we'll have to see what comes of it. Is it overkill? Maybe slightly. But we'll see how it plays out first.
Yeah, if it brings in more racing, like obviously last year we saw McLaren, Ferrari and Mercedes all close together at that front. But never really any moves came from it at all. They were all just line of stern for the full time.
Yeah.
So maybe this extra DRS zone down that straight, as we saw countless times Russell closing in on Lando, Lando closing in on Sainz, Hamilton closing in on Russell. Maybe that extra bit of DRS, maybe that means one of them is able to throw it up the inside, if that was last year. Yeah. So it could introduce some more overtaking, which I'm always here for.
Exactly, yeah. But with that, with the little preview out of the way, let's get on to our predictions then for the Singapore Grand Prix. First of all, give us your pole position, please, Mr.
My pole position is Charles Leclerc on a double pole.
Okay. Why Charles?
Going off, obviously, Baku, street circuit, Monaco, street circuit, Singapore, street circuit. That Ferrari's good at street circuits.
Yeah.
High downforce, that Ferrari seems to work well.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to work well at Singapore. And we know Charles Leclerc loves a street circuit. So it's written in the stars.
That's fair enough. I've also gone with Charles Leclerc as my pole position. You know, you think recency bias maybe comes into it slightly, but I think you've also got to consider that, you know, like you said, street circuit seems to be Charles's thing this year, and street circuit seems to be Ferrari's thing this year. I feel like it's unlikely that he won't get pole, so I've gone with Charles.
Yeah.
And with that, let's move on to our top 3. Give us your top 3.
First?
Starting with third.
I've gone with Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
Obviously, threat of rain. We saw what happened last time it rained in Singapore.
Yep. Yeah, we did.
We know Lewis has the ability to pull something out special in Singapore.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Mercedes will be as far off as what they were in Baku. So I thought, if there's a man that's going to put it on a podium, it's going to be Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
Second, Lando Norris.
Okay.
I think he showed great pace at Baku, street circuit. Obviously, we know the McLaren also went well at Monaco.
Yep.
They were right there with the Ferraris. Again, right there with the Ferraris in Baku. So I think Lando's going to have a good weekend. Obviously, he'll want to rectify that qualifying from last weekend.
Yep.
And I think he'll have a good one, putting it P2.
Yep.
And I think Charles Leclerc will convert his pole into a win this time.
Okay. Okay.
I think he's just going to have everything go for him. He's going to have great pace, and I think he'll just convert the win. No struggle.
Fair enough. I mean, fair enough. Now, you've gone very very. I don't want to say safe, but safe with your predictions, right? It's very likely that could be the case.
Yeah.
For my top three,
that's what I think's going to happen.
For my top three, I've gone with third Lewis Hamilton. Once again, the same point as you. I think he will be... well, we'll actually talk more about Lewis Hamilton when we come on to our flop and our star, actually, because I've got a bit to say on that. But Hamilton, I think, will finish third. Second, I've gone with Charles Leclerc. I don't think he'll convert, because I've got a gut feeling that there's one man that I've just got this feeling there's this one man who will pull it out the bag. And he'll want to rectify not only Baku, but he'll want to rectify what happened last year. And that's Max Verstappen. I think Max Verstappen will win the Singapore Grand Prix.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
The reason I've gone with Max is because we knew in Baku, it's not normal that he's off the pace with Perez. It's not normal. We found out that it was his setup that he wasn't happy with. And that is part down to Max's fault, obviously. He has to get the setup right. He has to work with GP in the team. I think he'll get the setup right. And we know Red Bull have been working to fix their issues with the bouncing and the curbs. And I think now that they've fixed those issues, I don't think they're going to be as far away as people think they will be just because they were last year. I think they're going to be closer. Does that mean they're still going to be top three? I don't know. It is still a bit of a stretch to say Max will win based off recent form. But for some reason, I've got a gut feeling that Max Verstappen will show us why he's one of the greats. And I think he'll win. I've got this feeling inside me that the pressure's on now. Lando Norris has got to start taking points consistently. He's got to start taking big points. But I think Max will show us why he's going to win this World Championship. Okay. And I think he'll win. So yeah, that's it. That's the last thing I want to happen. I want Lando to win this championship. I think it'd be great for the sport. I think it'd be great for British drivers, and I think it'd be great for just us fans, as British fans, right? But I can't deny Max Verstappen. Either way, let's go on to who do you think will do well? Who do you think will flop this weekend? Give us your star of the weekend. Yeah.
Star of the weekend is Charles Leclerc.
Okay, so you've gone with just,
I think he's utter domination.
Utter domination this weekend.
Like Max Verstappen-esque, Lewis Hamilton from back in the day-esque, world champion-esque. I think we're just going to see a different beast in Singapore.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can see that.
It could be my Ferrari bias.
Yeah, you are a Ferrari fan. Despite wearing an orange shirt, you could be a Ferrari fan.
It's my gym shirt, right? But I can just see an utter domination from Charles this weekend.
Okay, that's fair enough. My star of the weekend, I've gone with Lewis Hamilton. I don't think Mercedes are going to be as close as they were to the rest of the pack as they were last year, just because they've got that very annoying inconsistency with tire temperatures.
Yeah.
So I think there will be a slight. There'll be a slight sort of. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, there'll be a situation where Mercedes are like, oh, they're the quickest out of everyone. They're rapid. But then when they change tyre, they're going to be like slow, right? Almost Formula B. So, but I think I've gone with Hamilton because I think he'll be able to. Well, we know what he can do around Singapore. He goes very underrated around here. Everyone says, "Oh, this is the Sebastian Vettel track." He did really well around here during his dominance.
One less win than Sebastian around here.
But yeah, Lewis Hamilton is very underrated around here. I don't think people rate him as highly as they should. I think he's going to figure it out. I think he'll grab a podium. He'll outperform that Mercedes, and yeah, I think he's my star of the weekend, Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, fair.
Flop. Who's flopping?
Max Verstappen.
So this is why. So we're polar opposites right now. I've gone Max for the win. Really, I should have gone Max as my star if he's winning the race. Really, but I didn't. But you've gone with Max flop.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think the Red Bull are going to be as far off as what they were last year. I think they're going to be thereabouts. But I do think Perez is going to show him up again.
Really? Again?
Again. And if Perez is showing you up 2 races running, it's a flop.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yep, it is.
And it's a big flop. And I think Perez is just going to essentially put the manners on Max.
Wow, okay. All right.
This weekend.
What happened to you? All season you've been saying, hey, yo, Perez needs to go. He needs to go, fam.
Perez does need to. By no means do I think Perez is getting near the podium, but I think Max is going to be worse off.
Okay, well, okay. Fair enough. I mean,
if you can't be being beaten by Perez, especially 2 races running.
Yeah, he was outperformed in Baku, wasn't he?
Considerably outperformed. Not just 5 seconds up the road. It was almost a pit stop up the road.
Yeah, it was. Well then, okay, you've gone Max as your flop. My flop of the weekend, to a lot of distaste of probably newer F1 fans, because we all know they love this team. McLaren. I've gone with McLaren. Yeah.
You haven't got a McLaren on the podium, have you?
I haven't. That's why I've gone with McLaren. I think they'll finish 4th or 5th, or 4th and 6th, or 5th and 6th. One of them, which inherently isn't bad, right? I mean, if you're finishing top 5, that's not bad with both cars. But given where McLaren should be, I have this gut feeling. It was the same gut feeling I had when we did the Baku preview, where I said, I've just got a feeling it's going to be Charles Leclerc, right? And then it ended up being Charles, but then Oscar won the race. So maybe I could be wrong. Maybe McLaren might pull out of the bag somehow. But I've just got this gut feeling that McLaren are just going to be... I don't know. I don't think they're going to be there. I could be completely wrong. I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong, but I've got the feeling Ferrari will be quicker. I think Max will be on the pace. Mercedes, depending on what tyre they're on, will be quicker. We'll see.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it could be wet.
And it could be wet. And we know Hamilton in the wet. We know Max in the wet. Charles.
Alonso in the wet.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Carlos, I mean, Lando is fantastic in the wet, but...
Yes, he is.
So we can't obviously count him out. But, in unpredictable conditions, it could, could favour someone else. Could spice it up. But either way, that is our delusional predictions for the Singapore Grand Prix.
You're delusional. Mine's quite...
Yours is by the form book. Mine's delusional.
Mine's not bad, I'm usually the delusional one.
You actually are. What happened? Why have we gone role reversal here? Why have I gone for delusional?
Don't you worry, next time. I've got something juicy.
What race is it after this one? Is it Austin? It's Austin, isn't it? Yeah, it's Texas. I think it is, yeah. It's Austin, right? Because we go on another break now. We're on another break.
A 3-week break, and then it's Austin.
Yeah, and Red Bull are bringing upgrades. Ones that they hope are going to fix their issues. So we could be... for a sprint, is that we could be back for a Max domination for the rest of the season. Who knows? I don't know. Hopefully not. But either way, thank you for watching. Catch us for the races and the qualifyings and not all the sessions, but the Saturday and Sunday ones. And yeah.
Qualifying and the race.
Yeah, basically.